Welcome back, peeps. Thank you for tuning in to the Panda Bros channel. In today's video, after countless hours of playing duos, the second it came out, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on possibly the ultimate test of friendship and teamwork, which is how to win duos in Warzone Battle Royale mode. Alright, remember, if you do enjoy this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. It deeply helps me out a lot. And without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Alright, so like I said, duos is probably the ultimate test for friendship and teamwork, alright? And this is going to come in basically for the most important tips and tricks. It all relies on that. Why? Because you only have one other teammate to rely on, alright? So what does that mean? That means you have to coordinate your strategies together. You have to make good call-outs together as a team. And most importantly, you got to hit your shots if your other teammate's life is on the stake. What is that? Because obviously if you're in squads, if you're in trios, and you see some guys and they're coming at you and you miss your shots, then maybe you got another person that goes and takes their shots, and you know, you get a little confidence there, right? Maybe it's squads again, you miss your shots, you got more teammates to help you out. When it's duos, you have to understand that, let's say your teammate's in trouble, you're the only other person he can rely on. There's no other magic ghost. There's no god that's going to come out of nowhere, hit some lightning strike out of somewhere. It is up to you. So that is why it's very, very important that you understand that, and you need to hit your shots, right? So obviously, very, very good strategies to have is work together, stay close to each other, and always watch each other's six. What does that mean? When one's aiming one way, the other operator should be aiming the other way. Never aim at the same exact location. This brings me to my next tip, which is honestly one of the things that I hated about duo the most. When you jump into duos, there is a lot of teams. There's around 70 teams because there's a lot of solo players, there's a lot of duo players, but just the amount of teams, it is just honestly insane. I've never experienced so many teams in one location. If you're playing solos, it's everybody against everybody. But let's say we were in a team and I was playing with my partner, and then we landed in a little compound. You know, I had like 3 or 4 buildings, and there was 4 teams in one compound. I mean, that is insane amount of teams in Warzone. Usually you're fighting against one squad, you know, maybe 2. But I mean, you got 4 other people in there. It is just a lot of people. So that's just something that honestly happened to us a lot. We just got killed from a lot of different directions. So always stick to each other. Always cover each other's back. So always be looking at different directions. That is honestly the most important thing. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten killed because some other dude just came out of nowhere. So never assume they're on the same team. Always assume everybody is on a different team. All right. And again, what does this 2 operators come with? It creates this sort of meta shift, right? Because when you've got, let's say, squads, right? You got a guy that's the RPG guy. You got another guy, maybe he's the riot shield guy. You got another guy, he's the LMG guy. You got another one that's running sniper and SMG. So you got all these different variables, shotguns. You got all these different sort of things that you can create with your squad, right? Everybody chooses their own. But if you've only got 2 people, you've only got 4 weapons to choose from. So choose those 4 weapons wisely. My suggestion would be sure that those weapons are meant for 1v1 combat situations. What do I mean by this? For example, let's say an LMG is good for 1v1, but it's more of a support class because you're meant to basically mount your weapon and then you can mow people down. But your teammates need to be covering you. It's not really like a 1v1 sort of weapon when you're facing off each other. So obviously, my suggestion would be use a lot of those weapons. For example, I use my riot shield class, which is a really, really good 1v1 situations, which I have the gas, and I have the thermite. So that's a really, really good. So just always choose those type of 1v1 situations because honestly, you won't really be needing a lot of support class in this scenario. Again, so really, really important that you choose your class correctly. Again, speaking of that, only 2 people in the squad because it's going to be duos. Just avoid honestly losing in the gulag at all costs, because putting yourself into that 2v1 situation is going to be pretty difficult. You know, if you're squads, you lose one person, you still got 3 other people. If you're trios and you lose another person, you still got another person to rely on. When it's a 2 people and then you lose one of them and you're solos, that can become a little challenging. All right. But that being said, never disregard, like, just if it's a 2v1, honestly, do not sweat it. Like, don't be like, damn it, man, my teammate's dead. It's all over. what am I doing here? 2v1, honestly, it's a pretty realistic scenario that you can honestly kill that 2v1. What you want to do is obviously you try to pick off that one player. Never try shooting both enemies at the same exact time. Always try picking off that one player. Once he goes down, you can go ahead and push that other person being that 1v1, or go ahead and wait until he starts reviving him, and then go ahead and finish the job and get both of them down. But again, just really avoid losing that teammate, because then it's going to be a solo fight. But again, if you are in that 2v1 situation, do not sweat it. Play as a good team, because again, really important, communication is a major key to victory, just like all the other battle royale modes. So again, talking about just some general tips and tricks here. Two heads are better than one, obviously, so communicate vocally with your squad or with pings, obviously, if he doesn't have a mic. That's something really important that I want to say. I tried playing, like I said, I played this a lot. Like, I played hours and hours of duos trying to get the dubs, trying to see the best way to win, and I played with guys that didn't have a mic, didn't hear me, didn't use pings, and you are not going to win with that guy. Let me just tell you, unless you are a killing machine and you headshot everybody, you are not going to win with that person that is not communicating with you. Why just not communicating, giving callouts? I mean, two people, it's obviously less than 3 or 4. So what does that mean? That means that you have to pull your money together, and you have to make sure that you go to the same contracts. That means you have to just communicate a lot more. For example, if there's 4 of you guys, 2 of you guys can pull together, get the cash, maybe 3 of you guys. But if it's 2 of you guys and one's on the other side of the map and the other guy is doing whatever, you're not going to get the drop. That being said, again, drop is one of the most important things in this game. Get the drop as soon as you can, so you can get your classes and you can get some killing people. I do find that duo is kind of like solos in a way, so it's really important that you move with UAVs. I found that really useful, and using bounties to locate enemies and going ahead and pushing. I did find myself being a little bit more pushy with duos, and then sometimes a little bit more laid back. What I did find is that staying on the outside of the zone, especially on the final circles, as you guys can see here in the video, which I'm going to be showing you with that win, I do stay in the outside a lot. That's honestly how I noticed how to win this game, because in squads, you know, you have so little teams at the end that there's not that many. But for example, in duos at the end, you can have like 9 teams at the end. And that's just a lot of people. So if you're in the middle, you're going to be getting yourself hit by a lot of locations. So even in this one, in duos, it is honestly vital importance that in those final zone situations, you try to head yourself to the kind of like outskirts of the zone, and then move with the zone and make sure there is nobody behind you. All right. And again, just remember to consolidate your loadouts. So just remember to kind of like agree on what loadouts you guys will be choosing. Double ride shield, 1 sniper, 1 SMG, another one a launcher. So just remember to communicate with each other and make sure you've got those loadouts ready and clear. And breach and clear together. So just remember working in tandem to clear rooms, either when you're looting or killing enemies. It is a really effective strategy, working together, working in tandem when heading into building heavy areas in Verdansk, all right, such as downtown or prison. Just again, try not to get lost, and then then you turn around and your teammates like dead lying corpse there, and he's all dead and his loot's all over the place. Honestly, try to avoid that. Like again, I said with squads, you can be kind of like separated, but if one gets in trouble, you've got 3 other people to rely on. In this one, if you're kind of like running separated, I did find myself dying a lot more often, again, because there's more teams in this game. I did find myself again where I was like shooting at duos, and then just like some random enemy came from somewhere else and shot him. That honestly has happened to me so many times in duos, so much more than in trios and squads. That's why it is very important to work in tandem. 2 people against 1 will most of the time always win if you do play together and you do attack the enemies at the same time. Again, like for example, when we were going up there was a guy in hospital all the way to the top, and you got to go up the elevators, but there's 2 sets of elevators. So what we do, we know there's a guy camping in there, so we go ahead and we push the elevator at the same time. We get on that elevator at the same time, push at the same time, and we manage to take that guy out of there. Again, really important that you are working as a team. And again, you are only as strong as the weakest link. What does this This means winning a duos match does require a bit more of an individual skill from each of the squad member than a trios or quads game. So again, do put your practice your gun skill in multiplayer if you can. Again, it does require a little bit more individual skill, because if your partner is in trouble, the only person he can rely on is you. And if you're in trouble, the only person you can rely on is yourself and your partner. Again, squad, you've got a little bit more stuff going on. You got a little bit more partners going on. So that's why you get a little bit more help. So do not get frustrated if you lose a lot in duos. It definitely did happen to me. I mean, I played for hours until I really got kind of like the memo that you really do need to work as a team. It is a lot more of an individual-based skill game. Not talking about an individual like you run by yourself, but it's just a base more on individual skill level. And yeah, if your duos is dysfunctional, your BFF might probably die really quickly, and then you might lose as well. So again, just remember, work as a team. I mean, I'm stressing this so much because it is very, very important. Work out your loadouts beforehand. Land together in the same house when you are dropping out of the plane. Go to the same contracts. Go loot together. Obviously, if you know the place is completely empty, then go ahead and loot by yourself. But enter buildings together. Always watch each other's six and consolidate your loadouts before jumping into the game. And yeah, that was pretty much it for me. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I deeply appreciate you guys stopping by. Remember to like this video if you did enjoy, and turn the notification bell on as well. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Peace out, and I'll see you all in the next one.